A blind cat, lost in a world of darkness. A heartbeat filled with longing, but what she seeks is something that will shatter your heart. Prepare for a journey that will redefine love and resilience. The air was thick with uncertainty as the sun dipped below the city skyline. The streets echoed with distant noises, but for one small creature, silence was her world. She moved, cautiously, each step filled with purpose. The blind cat, with her matted fur and weary spirit, was not wandering aimlessly. She was searching. The animal shelter loomed ahead, a beacon of hope in her shadowy existence. Inside, a flurry of activity masked the desperate call of a mother. The sounds of barking dogs and chattering volunteers faded into the background. Her instincts guided her, weaving through the chaos as she made her way to the door. With every step, the scent of familiar warmth tugged at her heart. Memories of her kittens flooded her mind, tiny paws, soft mews, and the undeniable bond they shared. Each moment pushed her forward, despite the obstacles that surrounded her. The world may have taken her sight, but it could never dim her love. As she entered the shelter, the atmosphere shifted. Eyes turned toward her, a mix of curiosity and concern. Whispers filled the air. Who was this brave soul? The staff, unaware of the urgency behind her arrival, continued their work, but she knew, she could feel it in her bones. She had to find her babies. Time seemed to slow as she navigated the unfamiliar space. Every sound, every scent became a lifeline. Hope ignited within her as she pressed on, her heart pounding with determination. But would she find them in time? Would her love be enough to guide her home? Stay with us as we unravel this emotional tale, where a mother's instinct defies all odds. And remember, the most heartwarming twists often lie just around the corner. Before we dive deeper into this incredible journey, please subscribe to our channel. Your support means everything to us and helps share these touching stories of love and resilience that deserve to be heard. Join our community and be part of the journey today. The blind cat felt the warmth of the shelter's atmosphere wrapping around her like a comforting blanket. Yet, uncertainty lingered in the air as she stepped deeper inside. The cacophony of barking dogs and chattering humans grew louder, creating a whirlwind of chaos that threatened to engulf her. But she pressed on, driven by an instinct that coursed through her veins like wildfire. In the corner of the main room, a volunteer named Lily noticed the small figure navigating through the crowd. She had seen many cats come and go, but the determination in this one's movements struck her. "Look at that little warrior," she murmured to herself, watching as the cat paused occasionally, her ears pivoting to capture every sound. What could she be looking for? Others began to notice too. A group of children giggled as they watched the blind cat bump gently against a chair. "What's she doing?" one asked, squinting to see better. "Is she lost?" "She's not lost," whispered another, her voice a mix of awe and concern. "She's searching for something." The adults around them exchanged glances, some nodding knowingly, while others shrugged, unsure of the blind cat's purpose. They speculated quietly, their voices low. "Maybe she's looking for her family. I heard that some cats can sense their kittens from far away." One shopkeeper chimed in, placing a bowl of food near her. but the blind cat had no interest in the food. The scent of her surroundings was tantalizing, but not what she sought. She continued to move forward, her heart beating in rhythm with her silent pleas. As she ventured further, she caught a whiff of something that made her pause. It was familiar, sweet, and comforting, like the scent of her kittens. Could it be, she thought, her heart racing with hope. But as she moved closer, the smell faded, leaving her in a whirlwind of emotions. "Do you think she's looking for her lost family?" Lily pondered aloud, her voice laced with empathy. "It's heartbreaking. She must be so scared." Another volunteer, Mark, chimed in. "Or maybe she's trying to protect something. Animals can be incredibly protective of their young." Their conversations floated around her like leaves in the wind, each word further igniting her determination. The blind cat continued her quest, inching her way toward the back of the shelter, where she sensed an unusual stillness. Each step led her closer to a small room filled with soft meows. Her heart soared at the sound. She could feel the vibrations in the air, each mule pulling her forward like an invisible thread. "Is that you, my little ones?" she thought, hope blooming in her chest. But the path was not without obstacles. A loud bark startled her, causing her to stumble slightly. A large dog, wagging its tail, approached her with curiosity. "What's this little one doing here?" it seemed to ask with its eager eyes. "Stay back, Max," shouted a volunteer, rushing over. "She's just trying to find her way." The dog, sensing the tension, calmed down. The blind cat moved past him, her focus unwavering. She could not afford to be distracted now. Every second counted. She continued to follow the soft mews, which grew louder with each cautious step. As the cat neared the room's entrance, a surge of emotion washed over her. The scent intensified, familiar, and filled with love. Her heart raced as she finally crossed the threshold into the small room. Inside, a small gathering of kittens tumbled over one another, their soft fur glistening in the dim light. "Mama," they squeaked in unison, their voices filled with joy and longing. She paused, overwhelmed by the sight and sound. The warmth of her children surrounded her like a glow, and she felt a rush of relief. "I'm here, my darlings," she thought, her heart swelling. But before she could move forward, a wall of uncertainty loomed. The kittens, excited and oblivious, raced towards her. "Wait, I can't see you," she thought, her heart pounding. "Let me help you." Lily's gentle voice broke through the chaos. She knelt down, her hands reaching out to guide the kittens back to their mother. "This way, little ones. Your mama is right here." As the kittens tumbled into her embrace, the blind cat felt the world fade away. All that mattered was the soft purring chorus surrounding her. Tears filled Lily's eyes as she witnessed the reunion, the love palpable in the air. "Isn't this beautiful?" she whispered to Mark, who stood beside her, equally moved. "This is what it's all about." If this story is touching your heart, make sure to comment from where you are hearing this amazing story. The bond between the blind cat and her kittens was undeniable. Each mew was a note in a symphony of love, echoing through the shelter and into the hearts of everyone present. The blind cat, once lost in a world of darkness, had found her way back, guided by the unwavering love of a mother. The chaos around them faded into a distant memory, replaced by the sweet sound of reunion and the promise of brighter days ahead. In that moment, the blind cat's journey was more than just a search. It was a testament to the enduring power of love, a love that could transcend darkness and lead her home. The emotional reunion filled the small room with a warmth that seemed to suspend time. The blind cat nestled her kittens close, their tiny bodies vibrating with purrs of relief and joy. But as the moment unfolded, a shadow of uncertainty crept into the hearts of those witnessing the reunion. Lily, still knelt beside the family, felt a sudden chill. What if this is just a temporary sanctuary? She thought, glancing around the shelter. The reality of the situation began to weigh heavily on her. The blind cat's presence, while heartwarming, was a stark reminder of the countless animals who came and went from the shelter without a second thought. As if sensing her turmoil, the blind cat raised her head slightly, her ears perked up, picking up the sounds of the shelter's activity. She had found her kittens, but would they be safe? Would they be taken away again? Just then, a commotion erupted outside the room. The volunteers exchanged worried glances as the barks intensified. The door swung open, and a woman in a crisp uniform strode in, a representative from the local animal control agency. "I need to talk to whoever's in charge," she said, her voice sharp, cutting through the warmth of the moment like a knife. Lily stood up, her heart sinking. "What's going on?" she asked, dread creeping into her voice. The woman turned, her expression grim. "We've received reports of a blind cat wandering the streets. If she's here, we need to take her back into custody. She might be a stray, and we can't risk her being out there again." Gasps filled the room. The blind cat's heart raced. No, not again, she thought, feeling her world tilt. She had fought so hard to find her babies, and now the very thing she feared the most was looming before her. "But she's not a stray," Lily protested, stepping forward. "She's a mother. She found her kittens." The woman raised an eyebrow, her demeanor unyielding. "It doesn't matter. If she's blind and lost, she's a liability. We can't allow her to roam freely. It's for her safety and the safety of others." Mark, who had been quietly observing, stepped in. "Wait, can't we consider a different option? Look at her. She's clearly devoted to her kittens. Why can't we give her a chance?" The room held its breath, tension crackling in the air. The blind cat could feel the weight of their words, a mixture of hope and fear swirling around her like a storm. She nuzzled her kittens closer, willing them to understand that they were safe for now. The representative's eyes softened for a brief moment as she regarded the family. "I understand the emotional pull, but we have rules to follow. If she is not adopted by the end of the week, she will have to go back." Lily's heart sank. "But that's not enough time. You don't understand the bond they share. She's not just any cat. She's their mother. You can't take her away." The woman sighed, crossing her arms. "I'm sorry, but it's out of my hands. We have procedures to follow, and her blind condition complicates things." Just then, a soft voice piped up from behind. It was a little girl among the group of children who had been watching the commotion. "But she's not just a cat," she said, her eyes wide with innocence. "She's a hero. She found her way to her babies." Can't we help her? Can't we keep them together?" The room fell silent, the weight of her words hanging in the air. Everyone turned to the girl, their hearts softening. The blind cat felt a flicker of hope ignite within her. "Maybe there's a way," Mark said, his voice steadying as he took a step forward. "If we can show that she's loved and cared for, can we petition for a special case? She deserves a chance to stay with her kittens, to have a real home." The representative hesitated, looking between the hopeful faces and the determined cat. "I can't promise anything, but if you can find a way to prove her worthiness, I'll take it to my superiors." With that glimmer of possibility, the atmosphere shifted. The volunteers rallied together, discussing ideas and plans, their hearts united in a common goal. The blind cat listened intently, her heart swelling with both fear and hope as she felt the warmth of those around her. Days passed, and the shelter buzzed with activity as everyone worked tirelessly to gather evidence of the blind cat's love and resilience. Social media posts, heartfelt testimonials, and videos showcasing the unbreakable bond between the mother and her kittens flooded the internet. People began to share their stories of love and compassion, rallying behind the blind cat's plight. Meanwhile, the blind cat remained in her little sanctuary, surrounded by the comforting purrs of her kittens, each day filled with the joy of their presence. Yet, the looming deadline weighed heavily on her mind. Then came the day of reckoning. The shelter staff gathered in a small room, filled with anticipation and anxiety. The representative from Animal Control arrived, her expression unreadable. "Thank you all for coming," she began, her voice steady. "I've reviewed the evidence you provided. It's clear that this blind cat has a strong bond with her kittens, and there's been a significant outpouring of support from the community." Lily held her breath, squeezing Mark's hand tightly. "While I can't override the rules completely, I can offer a compromise. We will allow her to stay in the shelter for an extended period, but only if we can find her a permanent home by the end of the month. We'll work together to ensure she finds a family that understands her needs." Cheers erupted in the room, and the blind cat felt a wave of relief wash over her. Though there were still challenges ahead, she had been given a fighting chance to stay with her kittens. As she returned to her little family, the blind cat realized that love could indeed conquer the deepest fears. Though the world around her remained uncertain, she knew that together they would navigate the path ahead, guided by the unwavering bond they shared. And so, the story continued, a testament to the incredible journey of a mother cat and her kittens, with love illuminating the way through the darkness. The world may have once conspired against them, but now they stood united, a family ready to face whatever came next, together. As the days passed in the shelter, the blind cat found solace in the presence of her kittens. Each purr and affectionate nuzzle was a reminder of the love that had guided her through the darkness. Yet, the anxiety of their uncertain future loomed like a storm cloud overhead. The clock was ticking, and they needed a permanent home, a place where they could thrive together. The shelter staff worked tirelessly to promote the family, sharing their story across social media platforms. Pictures of the blind cat curled protectively around her kittens flooded the internet, capturing hearts everywhere. People resonated with their plight, sharing messages of hope and compassion. The community rallied around them, organizing adoption events and fundraising efforts to ensure the family found a safe haven. But as the deadline approached, hope and fear danced in the blind cat's heart. She spent her days grooming her kittens, her gentle purring a soothing melody that enveloped them in warmth. "We will find our way," she whispered in her heart, even as doubt crept in. One fateful afternoon, as the sun poured through the shelter windows, illuminating the small room where they resided, a family arrived. An older couple, with kind eyes and warm smiles. They had heard about the blind cat and her kittens, and came to meet them, eager to offer a loving home. As they stepped closer, the blind cat felt a spark of something. Could this be the warmth she had been searching for? The couple knelt down, their hands outstretched. "Hello, sweet girl," the woman cooed, her voice gentle and reassuring. The blind cat instinctively moved toward the sound, her heart racing. She nuzzled against the woman's hand, warmth flooding her heart as she felt the love emanating from this stranger. The kittens, overwhelmed with excitement, tumbled towards the couple, their playful energy filling the room. "Look at them, they're so precious," the man exclaimed, his eyes twinkling with joy. The blind cat listened, her heart swelling with hope. Could this family be the answer to her prayers? As the couple spent time with the family, the blind cat felt an undeniable connection. The woman's soft caresses and the man's calming presence enveloped her like a protective embrace. "They understand," she thought, warmth radiating through her. "They see me for who I am, not just a blind cat." But the clock was still ticking. The representative from animal control would return soon, and the blind cat understood the urgency. "Please, let them see our bond," she thought fervently, nuzzling her kittens closer, hoping the couple could sense the love that bound them together. Days turned to nights, and the couple returned to the shelter, determined to advocate for the family. They spoke passionately about the blind cat's strength and the irreplaceable bond she shared with her kittens. "This family deserves a chance," the woman urged, her heart on her sleeve. "They have been through so much, and we can offer them a loving home where they will never be separated again." The shelter staff listened intently, their hearts moved by the couple's sincerity. "We can't let them go back to uncertainty," Mark spoke up, his voice steady, echoing the sentiments of everyone present. "This family is an example of resilience and love, and they deserve a forever home." Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the representative from animal control returned, her expression softened by the overwhelming support the family had received. "I've reviewed your case," she began, her voice more compassionate than before. "It's clear that this family has touched many hearts, and I can see they have a loving support system. I'm willing to grant them an extension, but it must be clear that they need a permanent home." Cheers erupted in the shelter as relief washed over everyone. The blind cat's heart soared, her love for her kittens guiding her through every obstacle. The couple wasted no time in filling out the adoption paperwork, ensuring that the blind cat and her kittens would remain together. As they prepared to leave the shelter, the blind cat felt a sense of peace enveloping her. The world outside was still uncertain, But with her kittens by her side and a loving family to guide them, she knew they would navigate whatever challenges lay ahead. In that moment, surrounded by the warmth of love, she closed her eyes, surrendering to the bliss of belonging. The journey had been long and fraught with danger, but it had led her to this, an unbreakable bond that transcended sight, a testament to the power of love and resilience. If this story is touching your heart, make sure to subscribe for more incredible stories like this one. And so, the blind cat, once lost and alone, stepped into her new life, guided by the unwavering love of her family. Together, they would face the world, proving that even in the darkest moments, love could light the way home.